Good evening. Health bosses have refused to accept a £2,500 donation for a community hospital because they're unhappy that the money was raised by men dressed as female nurses and health workers. It's the first time in nearly 30 years that Shropshire Community Health NHS Trust has turned down the cash raised by what's become an annual event. Those involved say they haven't had any complaints and describe the decision as an overreaction. Joanne Riddle reports.
It's a row which has become the talk of usually peaceful Ludlow. A group of men dressed as female nurses raced around town with buckets and raised £2,500 for the community hospital. So far, so good. Describe how you were dressed and what you did on that day.
Dress, a white smock to the knees, a big long pair of bloomers underneath, hanging down beneath the smock, pair of some balloons for a bust, plenty of makeup, and really looking forward to it every year.
But the local health trust has refused to accept the money. In a letter to the fundraising League of Friends, the trust boss says men dressed as female nurses in a highly sexualised and demeaning way is wrong and outdated.
I'm flabbergasted. I can't believe that anybody would send £2,500 back.
Mike's son Adam on the right took part too. Do you think you could have perhaps toned it down a bit?
I genuinely don't think so, because I don't think that any of us set out to cause any offence. I mean, you only have to walk around the town and see the individuals, the smiles on people's faces.
Alison Harl's husband delivered their baby daughter at home 3 months ago due to the temporary closure of the hospital's delivery unit, so he dressed as midwife Mark for the event.
It's just a bit of fun. The guys really enjoy doing it. They have a laugh while they're doing it, and the general public seem to sort of roll along with the theme of the event.
The Chief Executive of Shropshire Community Health Trust, Jan Dithridge, declined our request for an interview. In a statement, she said it isn't okay to portray health professionals in this way. We've previously asked that this doesn't happen and therefore don't think it's right to accept money from this activity. The League of Friends is now unable to spend the £2,500 on an ECG machine for the hospital.
I've had 3 calls today from major hospitals, one of which is reasonably local to Shropshire, and their reaction was, well, if you want to find a home for the money, we will take it because we don't care whether they've got clothes on or not.
The men who dressed up say they didn't mean to cause offence and are now themselves offended. Joanne Riddle, BBC Midlands Today, Ludlow.
There's been quite a backlash at this decision on our Facebook page. Alan Roper wrote, "Absolute idiots. The health bosses should be grateful people gave up their spare time to do the fundraising. I am a male nurse and not in the least bit offended." Charlotte Elizabeth Beer asks, how is it insulting to nurses? What is insulting is not taking the money and being ungrateful. Stephen Simpkins added, the words horse, gift and mouth come to mind. And lots share Robert Eagleton's comments, political correctness gone mad. Actually, we've been through all of the comments and were unable to find any which agreed with the hospital's decision. But thank you to all of you who got in touch. Dozens of brides